following social distancing guidelines. And so it's like that doesn't really tell us really hardly anything at all other than, well, are we supposed to keep 6 feet away from each other all the time? Because that's not what I do at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wait in line 6 feet away from somebody, but then when I'm shopping, I'm right next to them. So really is a huge challenge that owners have on their hands.
I was talking to Madison yesterday, and I guess she did something with some girls' camp. And so she gave me a website for just like American Campers website.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they have rules in there that you can have small groups of 10, but those 10 have to stay away from another small group of 10.
Yeah, I think I might have said this last week. Washington Post leaked a CDC camp guidelines that were supposed to be released, but were never released. So it's like, should we follow these guidelines? They were never released officially. And it says that keep groups separate from other groups. But then the other thing that for owners to consider is the ACA, American Camp Association, is really more for overnight camps. It's really not good for day camps. Overnight camps have such a big, a different operational standard, and they're almost all of the or a lot of the residential overnight camps are nonprofits, or they have big what do you call it? Not trust fund, but what do you call it when Harvard has $50 billion just sitting there? Oh God! They got in trouble because they got some PPP money, and they were like, you have $50 billion in it's funds that people have donated. Man, I'm gonna remember it right when we end the call. Yeah. It's like a thing. So a lot of these camps have money and donations and people that will donate, and they have camp boards and things like that. So if they shut down for this year, it's bad, but it's not as devastating as a small business like we run, not having any income over the summer. And they have different, so they can take their group of 10 down to the lake, and then their other group of 10 over to the tennis courts.
Mm-hmm.
Day camps are we're going to take our group of 10 over to the water fountain,
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go, and then you have to think about there's childcare, right? Daycares are going to open back up, and there were guys in that leaked CDC guidelines. There were things like try to have the kids sleep if they're taking naps, have them sleep feet to feet instead of side by side. Okay, that's good, but what about when they wake up from nap and they're all eating the same goldfish and it's just hard. And I think I was considering having parents initial as they came in, I understand that I'm taking a risk, but I don't know. That's not really for my safety so much as it is for them to understand, here's what we're doing, But I don't know.
Yeah, that concerns me. I understand everyone wants to open up, get back in business, make some money. But at the same time, everyone really has to have kids as a priority. Get all these cute little kids that go to your school, you don't want anything to happen to them. So it's not just, okay, we're trying to keep people clean, just it's good perception. It's got to be beyond good perception. It's got to be something that you're really trying to do, because especially with this new virus that seems to be coming around for kids.
Yep, exactly. That was the owner of the building that just drove by. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking is, I know, what do we know so far is that we know half of the people are going to think it's crazy that we're reopening, and half of the people think that, why haven't you reopened yet, right? Mm-hmm. So if we do keep safety as our number one priority, one of those options has to continue to be Zoom classes. One of my thoughts was, why don't we run Monday and Tuesday, an A day is in person and a B day is Zoom, maybe, or because I know that a lot of people were they were going to stream their classes over Zoom, but I'm concerned that if I say, hey, everybody line up on your Wave Masters, they can do that. But if I say everybody, there are things that you teach in person that you can't really do via Zoom, especially if you're teaching parkour or gymnastics or, So I was considering doing an entire day as Zoom classes and an entire day as in-person classes. that way, because Zoom class, you can just teach one class and everybody can be on it. In person, you got to break those up, 8 or 10 or whatever. Is there a reason that people are stopping at 10? Is that their state's guidelines or?
Not that I know of. I think that was just like the guidelines that was back in March when they started, social distancing in small groups of 10 before they shut everything down. I know some are going by the like restaurants. You have 25% capacity. Now, capacity is usually assigned by your door when you get your occupational license.
Yep.
I was talking to a couple guys yesterday, and they go, "Man, it says 32 people, 35 people, and if I have a quarter of that, I'm going to have like 8 people in the school." So, so I don't really know. I've only known a couple people that opened up. Kent Brown. He's got 11,000 square feet. He's got like 125 students. I mean, he could have them all train at the same time, and people are still apart.
Yeah.
So to a girl down here, she was getting rid of her dots, and she's put blocks. So she took tape and she put like 10 foot blocks, and kids each get their own block. Unless they're with a sibling, they could train with a sibling inside that block.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
I thought that'd be kind of cool. And then if you put like a wave master in each one of those, except if you have a sibling, now you can do a training with a regular shield or tombstone or whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, almost like kickboxing classes. We used to say, all right, grab your bag and roll it out to your spot. Like they would just grab their bag immediately right away. You'd essentially have a wave master in that dot. I think that bag work can be a really we might be doing a lot of bag work, because Zoom, if you are doing Zoom at home, Zoom kids can do it, and in-person kids can do it.
So we talked last week. I thought you came up with a real good idea about Zooming your live classes. Have your TV by your mirrors so you can see the Zoom kids against the live kids or whatever.
Yeah, I do, and I think that I'm gonna do that with my karate classes. I'm wondering about my parkour classes, how am I going to do that? Because parkour kids are stuck in there. If you're a karate kid, you can. I'm not we're not going to be holding kicking shields for each other, right?
No.
So everything's going to be, like that. I do like that. My wife was thinking, I was thinking that we're going to keep all parents out of the facility. But my wife was like, well, they wear a mask. Can they sit in there? I'm wondering, what's the risk of having a parent come in? Is it just that it's another body in the facility? What's more beneficial? If someone is willing to come to class, if we ask them to wear a mask or if we let them watch their kid, is there any additional risk to them sitting on the bench? Maybe if we have blocks tape on the benches or something, or remove one chair in between the chairs or something like that.
I think that's fine. I think if all parents who wore the mask. There's a guy down this way, John Cordova. He's got the face shields for the kids. It's just like a welder's helmet. He sells it for $10. The kids put it on like a visor, and it just has a clear acrylic. He sells them for $10.
That's crazy.
I mean, at least the kids could still breathe, and the kids aren't going to be good with a mask.
Well,
at least their spit to them.
I'm in a summer camp group, and there was a person that posted who runs day camps, like city day camps or something somewhere. Every once in a while, there's a day camp person in the summer camp groups. And she was saying, hey, we have the benefit of they never shut us down. We kept going, trying to implement social distancing guidelines. And man, she was like, one of the things that we instantly found out was the kids can't do masks in camp. They mess with them. They're not on right. They can't breathe. They complain about it. All of a sudden now, as an adult, you can adjust your mask properly. As a kid, you're like, So kids, I'm not even going to ask them to wear masks. I do think that it would put a good. I do think that our team members can wear masks. I mean, if you put a headset mic out, people should be able to hear you, right? You should be able to yell through a mask anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, and I know everybody's just kind of out on their own, on these things, but I'm trying to imagine. My first thought was parents can wait outside. But then my second thought is they want to, if they're bringing their kid, they want to participate. They're excited to be back out here. I think maybe letting them watch is going to be more beneficial to their happiness with us. But maybe the risk isn't worth it. I don't know.
Well, you may have a good point. They may be able to help assist making sure that their child isn't getting close to another kid.
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
parents got to wear masks. What we really want you in for is we want to keep everyone safe, make sure your child doesn't go in there. So they'll help police the whole thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Like,
Then if
you know,
you didn't have enough wave masters, the parent could hold the bag for the child.
there you go. Absolutely. Because there are people that don't have the benefit of 25 wave masters sitting around. They've got 3 or 4. Yeah, absolutely. Parent participation. Well, and additionally, like, you know, Johnny asked, can I go get a drink? Okay, yeah, real quick, come right back. But then there's another, like, there's a sibling that I didn't know was over there by the water fountain. Yeah, a parent can definitely be proctoring that situation, I think, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Man, I'm worried about it. I'm actually not gonna do my meeting tomorrow. I'm probably gonna have to push it to Friday because we're doing all this stuff in here, and I've got summer now that we are gonna go ahead with summer camp. I've got back-to-back interviews tomorrow. I've done interviews all day. I can tell you that Zoom interviews, although nerve-wracking for the interviewee, people aren't scheduling themselves to a Zoom interview with the same laissez-faire like that they do with a real interview. And I don't know what the deal is, but I've had 3 Zoom interviews so far, 2 superstars and 1 pretty okay, and then 1 no-show. No way. If I had scheduled 4 interviews in person, it'd have been no-show, 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 1 good person. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think maybe just get like knowing that there's going to be somebody on your computer and like knowing that you don't have an excuse of, oh, I didn't wake up in time or whatever. I like to put barriers in front of people to make sure that they're willing to, you know, I'm not trying to make it as easy as possible for you to show up for your interview. Like you have to select one of the, like a time. I give you a 9 a.m. on one day and a 1 p.m. the next day. Like if you can't make a time selection, if I on Friday morning, like this is what I did. Friday morning, I gave like 13 or 14 people 2 different times from Monday to Wednesday. I gave them a morning and an afternoon on different days. If you haven't accepted one of those times by Sunday evening, I'm canceling your availability.
Mhm.
Like you had all weekend to do that. So, and had I done that in person, I would have had half of those people, or way more than half of those people, accept one of those times. Something about Zoom interviews are weird. I don't know.
What position you hiring for?
Summer camp counselor.
Counselors?
Yeah, summer camp. I think I'm going to try to call them summer camp team members. I'm trying to call everybody team member. I know that counselor is a universally understood word, but like, for example, my wife thought she was going to work at a summer camp when we were 19. She might have been 20, and she was like, "Hey, I got a job at the YMCA. I'm going to be a summer camp counselor." I was like, "Oh, great." Day 1, she comes home and she's like, "It's not summer camp." I was like, "What is it?" But I didn't know anything about it. I taught karate, right? I had no idea. And she was like, "It's daycare, and all the kids are nightmares, and I don't know who the boss is, and nobody told me what to do. And luckily, I babysat my whole life, so I'll be okay." But so, like, I want to make, and I'm trying to be very clear with people that we are a movement-oriented childcare alternative, a summer day camp. Kids are here from the morning to the evening. It's not traditional summer camp. So I try to communicate that with them. But if I call them a team member, maybe they'll feel like they're part of Motion Tulsa instead of a summer camp counselor. Who knows? I don't know.
What are you putting down for qualifications?
Well, what I do is I say you have to have a high school degree or equivalent, GED. You have to live in Tulsa, and that's pretty much it. Like that's it. And what we say is it's an excellent job for college students who are education or kinesiology majors, like somewhere in the education or movement majors. And because of that, we get a ton. Like we say that like in the opening paragraph. Here's what we do. Here's who this job is really great for. And that usually brings out a lot of like doe-eyed college girls who are like, "I'm going to be a teacher someday." And I'm like, well, this is going to give you like excellent. And we do. We have counselors that have gone to be teachers, and they've told us that they had, you know, the classroom management that they learned here. How do I get kids to pay attention? How do I still motivate kids? They don't teach any of that in college. You just go in there and you're really excited to teach your curriculum, but you don't have any idea how to get 30 kids to pay attention to you. So it's beneficial. We get we've also gotten a lot of applications this year from people who have worked at other camps around town because all those other camps are closed.
Okay. Yep.
So like we've got lead teachers and like lead counselors and program directors and coordinators that have applied with us. I'm hesitant to hire some of those people sometimes because they bring their own ideas about how things should be run. And college students just say, sure, you bet. Sounds good, So can't have too many cooks in the kitchen.
Very neat. It's really kind of hard to talk about reopening. I see some people trying to post online, these are the guidelines for everyone reopening. No one knows. I mean, I can't even we're in phase 1 of reopening down here in Florida. I don't know of any school that's reopened. They kind of don't even know where they fit.
Well, we're not even following our state guidelines. We're reopening, but we're not even even Trump's guidelines that everybody's like, well, I'm not sure if those are safe. Like people are still like, we're not sure if the guidelines that the administration put out are really okay. Even those guidelines, our state's not following. They're just like, let's go. Like, okay. Like our mayor actually put out a pretty scathing, when he opened us back up, he was really, he talked some trash about the governor. He was like, well, if the governor doesn't support this and all the towns around Tulsa, because we got Tulsa with 500,000 people, and then we got all these little towns, and none of the little towns they didn't do anything. They never closed. He's like, well, it doesn't do us any good to continue to harm our economy. If we're just going to have people from Broken Arrow coming in and doing all their shopping and everybody else is open, then there's nothing we can really do other than open up. So here we go. And yeah, it's been just, I don't know what to do. Somebody's going to catch the virus at my place, and I don't know how to deal with that, other than, and people have to have childcare. So like, I can understand, we can say, hey, there's a max capacity of 10 kids. I know that I can keep my parkour kids safe because they're not going anywhere near each other, but I can't keep my summer camp kids safe. And I'm going to have to look parents in the eye and say that, like, I can't keep your kids safe. You know that, right? Like,
when you're hiring people, are they worried about coming to work, or they just do the job?
I don't know. I think they just do the job. They're all so young, and I don't know that they're taking it super seriously.
Okay.
I don't know that the gravity of the situation is really affecting them. I have one girl that's called in sick 3 days in a row. So I was like, you need to go get tested. Let me know when you go. She hasn't texted me today, but she's never gone. She's been here for 2 years and she's missed like 2 days, and this is 3 days in a row. So, it's gonna get some of us.
That's it. I was talking to Diego Perez down in Miami. I go, do you have any close family that got the virus? He had like 6 people within his family, or his wife's family, that got the virus. One of them who died. So,
oh, that's terrible.
Yep.
Lisa and I had this. We went down to visit my grandparents before this all happened. It was February, maybe last week of February. So like, you've seen it on the news, like, oh, there's some things happening in Washington State. Nobody was really. I don't think New York had even been hit real hard yet. And we both, like me the day before we left and her the day that we left, I had this splitting headache that I couldn't get to go away. I just felt like I got hit by a truck. I thought I had strep because I get strep real easy, and it went away after a couple of days. But I'm thinking, did I have that? Because all the symptoms are so different, God.
Yeah, Johnny Karate was like that. He says, man, I was so sick the end of February, but he just got tested for antibodies, and he never had it.
Yeah. Our testing is few and far between out here. I don't even know where the testing sites are. I have to find them. But I'm gonna make some guidelines for our camp counselors and like what we're doing, and then like a little checkbox, essentially a Rainmaker checkbox with check here, check here, check here. I understand these things, and then sign them. We'll have it on the iPad, almost like a birthday party check-in. Mm-hmm. So when someone comes into camp on their first Monday, they'll have to. I'll probably have that very first Monday, I'll probably have a stack of sheets, and then we'll scan them and put them into the kids' Rainmaker profile. But then we'll just have the iPad out, like, hey, have you done our iPad thing yet? Or they'll sign in with attendance, and we'll put a note that beeps up. Instead of it going ding, it'll go and then we'll have to like, oh, you need to check here that you understand. Here are the things we're doing for parkour class. Here are the things we're doing for martial arts class. Here are the things we're doing for summer camp. Because I think that it's also like, if we don't know what's going on, parents might assume that we have some sort of state guidelines, and we could say something like, state, federal, and local guidelines are all in conflict. So here's what we're doing. And we need to make sure that you're okay with that, because I imagine there's going to be some mom that's going to go, wait, I don't see regular whatever on here. And I'm going to say, oh, we're not able to do that. And she's going to have to make a decision whether or not she wants to come to camp. So I think we'll use Rainmaker to kind of put that out there.
Are you going to ask them any questions like, has anyone in your family ever had the virus or anything like that? Or?
That's a good, I'm not sure. I know we had talked about temperature, and we I think we're going to keep a temperature gun around. That way, if we see a kid that we think might be sick, we'll make sure that they take their temperature. And also, this will help us with regular summer camp, because now people will be willing to come pick up their kid. People have been, in the past, we've been like, hey, your kid has a fever. Okay, well, my boss ain't going to let me out till this afternoon. And we've really not had any recourse. We've been like, okay, we kind of put them over away from other kids. But now we're going to be like, no, you need to come pick them up right now. They have a fever, So I think that'll keep the flus and the streps and the colds and some other things away. We're also going to do if we hear a kid cough, we'll set them over to the side. If they cough again, we're calling parents, Like one cough is fine. And if the parents say, oh, I'm so sorry, they have allergies all the time, they've got a Claritin in their backpack, like, okay, that we can work with that. But if, oh, they weren't coughing this morning, okay, great, you need to come pick them up. And employers will hopefully be understanding about those kinds of things.
Steve Butts down in Florida, he had a temperature thing, and he was temperaturing everyone that just came into his building, and he had a delivery person come in, and they registered a high temperature. So they had to ask him to leave. So people couldn't come in unless they got the temperature. But it wasn't a student, it wasn't a parent, it was a delivery guy. So.
Wow. Yeah, one of the things we've done in our new place here, and I think this will help parents feel better, is we've got keypads. We've got it on lockdown. So we've got 2 areas now that we can enter. Before, we had these front doors and this back door. The back door had a keypad, but the front doors we had to kind of leave them open, and somebody would be at the front desk. But now we can, they're completely locked. Fire, we can get out if there's a fire, but they're 100% locked, and that way somebody has to ring the little buzzer, and we can say, hi, how can I help you? Oh, you have a package. Great. I can come sign for the package. You can say, I'm not even check your temperature. Set the package down. We'll come get it in a second. So that I think that would make parents, security lockdown, there's not a random person walking in asking to use the bathroom. That would be a concern for me and my kids, is I have to deal with my kids being around their ballet teacher, but I don't have to deal with my kids being around the FedEx guy or some random, rando walking in. So, yeah.
That's a real good point. I love it.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know that everybody has, and everybody should have the ability to have those little paddle doors. You can get those paddles installed on your door. A locksmith can install that for a couple $100, and that way you can lock down your whole facility, but you can still have an emergency exit. You know the paddles that I'm talking about? Yeah. Those, when I had that installed, I had no idea how cheap it was. It was $180. And I was like, that's it? And they're like, yeah, that's it. Okay, fantastic. So, and you can get it put above, where kids can't reach it. So they can't just whack it and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that would be a huge, beneficial thing to make parents feel more comfortable, and just to keep your facility secure. If you're running a day camp, you can't have people walking in. I know you're open for business, but we're in 2020. People can email. They can text or call. If they're a walk-in, you're not going to waste your time talking to a walk-in when you're running camp anyway. What are you probably going to do? You're probably going to get their number and say, I'll call you right back, So keep them out.
So one last question. When people come in, you're going to check everyone in, or kids going to hit the pad themselves, or parents?
No, we're going to do roster check-in for sure.
So
Yeah.
there's no transfer germs, anything like that.
Yep. Yeah. And we won't even, we'll have the iPads like maybe facing in to the computer because everybody's used to coming in and checking on the iPad, right?
Right.
So we'll turn them in that way. If someone needs to sign a membership agreement or something, we can turn it around. And then, yeah, we'll have wipes or something available to wipe it down afterwards if there's any wipes available. Have you seen the alcohol? Nobody can find rubbing alcohol now because Trump said alcohol is working. He said, they're saying that alcohol, or no, that study came out and said that alcohol kills it in 60 seconds. Now there's no alcohol in any of the stores. What are you going to do? Douse yourself with rubbing alcohol? Are you going to put rubbing alcohol on your table?
I just got big cans of wipes from a company called Boxed, BOXED.
Okay.
Because I keep them in my car, so I don't use gloves, but I'll wear a mask. And then as soon as I get to my car, I wipe everything off. So.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I don't know if I've said this yet or not, but people need to, I think I did say this, people need to reach out to commercial janitorial supplies in their area because they have viricides in big concentrated jugs that'll last you a year, and you mix it up in a spray bottle and then you're able to tell your parents and you're able to use a commercial quality viricide and you're able to tell your parents, we're using a commercial quality viricide. We're not going to run out of Clorox spray tomorrow. We've got, you know what I'm saying? And none of the janitorial supply companies, like we keep getting emails from ours that say, we still got stuff, you're okay. Come, you can buy from us. So
excellent.
All right, man. Well, hopefully we'll see some people next week.
Absolutely. You got to get a barber open there. You may skin kind of
killing me. It's killing me. I don't want to go stand that close to somebody.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody breathing down my neck. I'm a little like, yeah, I want a haircut, but I don't want a haircut that kills me.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe I'll just have long flowing mane.
Yeah, I was talking to Johnny Karate because he's always got, it's really nice buzz and everything. But how do you do that? Because I got a relative that does it. So he says, I couldn't do it. I mean, he's likes his hair, so. Styling.
That's right. All right, sir. We'll see you later.
All right. Take care. Thank you.